99% of entrepreneurs know exactly what they need to be doing in order for them to scale. You know what you need to do in order to live your dream life. You know what actions to take, you know which decisions to make, you know you shouldn't procrastinate, you know you shouldn't overthink, you know you shouldn't scroll on TikTok, you know all of these things, you know you should hire people if you want to scale, you know you need a clearer schedule, you know what you need to implement, what strategies, what tactics you need to implement if you want to scale, but you still don't do it. And this is the reality that most people face when it comes to business. And I can help you solve that very quickly. Why should you listen to me though? You should listen to me because this is my job. My job is helping people reprogram their minds in order for them to make more money. I get hired by multimillionaires, by business owners, by entrepreneurs for me to reprogram their mind, their subconscious mind, in order for them to scale their business. I've helped people grow from $5,000 per month to $60,000 per month, from $3,000 per month to $88,000 per month, helping people close 15 million euro deals, and worked with way over 100 entrepreneurs. So I kind of got an eye to spot these kinds of patterns that are blocking people to grow and help them overcome them and actually get towards their desired reality. 90% of the time, it's not a strategy problem or a technique problem that you're facing when it comes to growing your business. It's actually you. It's actually a mental block that you have that's stopping you from taking certain decisions and actions for you to scale, and I'm about to show why. And first of all, you have to understand that 95% of your decisions come from your subconscious mind. Only 5% of your decisions and actions come from your conscious mind. So even though you believe with 5% with your conscious mind something, 95% of your mind doesn't believe it. So what's stronger, 95% or 5%? 95%. So even though you consciously believe something about yourself, about your business, about what you need to do, your subconscious mind believes something completely else that's sabotaging you from acting on the conscious power, because 95% is stronger than 5%. And I'm going to give you a very simple example, right? I was working with a very successful woman, and she was doing a lot of money each month, each year, huge company, big boss. And she was struggling getting into a healthy relationship. Why? She said she wanted a good man, she wanted a loving man, she wanted a good whatever. I'm not sharing any more details, but she wanted to get into a healthy relationship with a new person. But each time she was getting into a relationship, she would self-sabotage that relationship, ghost that person, and not talk to them anymore. Or something might happen. She would look for tiny little mistakes that that particular person was doing, even though he was acting exactly how she wanted him to act, because subconsciously she had a block. What was that block? I interrogated her in our calls, and I found out that she was associating her being in a relationship with her not being so successful. She subconsciously believed with 95% of her decision making and action taking that if she got into a relationship, she wouldn't be making as much money as she's making now. So with 5% of her being, she wanted to be in a relationship, but 95% of her didn't want to be in a relationship. She was fearing a relationship because it meant her identity was about to crumble. What was her identity? It was an identity of a powerful, strong, rich, successful woman. If she got into a relationship, she would lose that identity, she would lose herself. So of course the subconscious mind was protecting her. Your subconscious mind wants to keep you safe, it wants to keep you comfortable, because growth for the subconscious mind equals death. Discomfort equals death to the subconscious mind. Newness, things that are new, equal you're about to die to the subconscious mind, because it's unknown, and unknown is fear, and fear equals pain, and pain might equal death. So it's that deep for her subconscious mind. And once she realized this and she implemented the techniques that I gave her, and we worked upon this, and she realized consciously that she had this mental block, we overcame them in our call, we talked a lot about them, she implemented what she needed to implement in order to overcome this subconscious block, and she got into a healthy relationship, and they're about to get married. It's really awesome. I can give you countless of examples. If you know you need this type of help, you can click in the link in bio, book in a call with me, and we can work together, right? But moving on, another thing that stops people, every single thing that stops people, but another way of viewing it, there's always a block. And for most entrepreneurs, there's a fear that they have subconsciously of them growing their business. They know what they need to do, but they procrastinate growing. Why? Most of them are overwhelmed, first of all, and procrastination comes from overwhelmment. So if they are not clear on what they need to do, then they cannot do it because it's a lot of mental pressure, and it's like, oh, I have to do that, I do have to do that, I can't, I won't do anything. This is how most of them work. So getting extremely clear on the steps they need to take is crucial. And second of all, most of them strive for perfection. Most of them fear failing. They fear it. They consciously might say, oh, I don't fear failing. But what they consciously believe doesn't fucking matter. It doesn't matter because their subconscious is way stronger. Let me give you a quick example of why perfection is a big factor. They say, oh, I need to wait some time in order to start that. And I ask them, well, why? Do you think that like starting that strategy or starting new ads or starting that company or starting promoting your product or learning that particular skill will make you more money? Yeah, of course. Then why aren't you starting now? Oh, because I need to, and they find excuses for them to procrastinate even further. But why? Because they want it to be perfect. They have this perfectionism syndrome. They need to be perfect because they fear them trying it and failing. You see how it works? They want to find the best possible time, which never comes, because they fear failing. They want to stay perfect. And perfectionism is actually a trap deployed by your old identity. Remember, your old identity doesn't want you to progress further, because if you progress further, you step into a new identity and the old identity dies. And it doesn't want to die on a spiritual level. I'm not talking about physical death, I'm talking about a metaphysical death, right? Your old identity doesn't want to perish. So it will deploy tactics like perfectionism. No, you can't do that because it's not perfect yet. You need to wait for the perfect moment. You need to do that before that, and you need to start in about 3 months. And when those 3 months pass, no, it's actually not the right time because you need to do that, and the right time never fucking comes. This is just one of the many mental blocks people have. You need to understand and you need to analyze and be really perspicacious on what's blocking you. What beliefs do you have that are blocking your success? Because if you have beliefs that don't resonate with your desires, you're just blocking yourself from getting them. It's really important. 95% of business is mental. 95%. This is why people with worse strategies, worse technique, worse ads, worse business knowledge make more money than people with the greatest business knowledge ever. Because they have a good identity, they have the right mindset, they have a mind that's working for them instead of against them. I was working with a client of mine, and he didn't understand why his friends were making much more money than him, even though he was a lot better at the business they were making. Why? Because their friends were working with their subconscious mind and not getting played by the subconscious mind. They were using 95% of their mental powers instead of just 5%. And this is where business owners differentiate themselves from the rest. This is where athletes differentiate themselves from the rest. It's in the mental mind. Why do all successful athletes have hypnotists? in order to remove their subconscious minds? Why do all successful athletes visualize themselves winning constantly? To train their minds. Why do the best athletes have the best mentals possible? Because the mental wins the game. At a certain level, you all have the same skill level, but it's just your mind that is making you progress more and more and more. So if you are stuck, if you don't know what to do, if your income is declining, or if you just want to scale, and you know you need to work with the power of the subconscious mind and reprogram your mind, you can click the first link in the description, we can have a call, and we can work together. But not. If you don't want to book in a call, try to implement and analyze on your own what things are stopping you from scaling. Because you know what you need to do, you know it. I'm certain you know them. If you don't know them, it's another mental block, but I won't get into that in this video. If you know what to do, ask yourself, why am I this way? Why am I sabotaging myself from growing? What do I fear? I was fearing, personally, I give you a personal example, I was fearing not living the life that I was living because I was super content with the life I was living. I was super happy with it. So I was sabotaging my goals because new goals meant new responsibilities and I wasn't prepared for new responsibilities. How crazy is that? I didn't use this whiteboard for shit in this video, but hey, I hope you find something valuable in this video. And most important, apply this knowledge. Knowledge without application and practicality is useless. So please, after this video, don't watch any more YouTube, don't watch any more Instagram, and sit in silence, analyze yourself, look for the mental blocks, and overcome them shits. And you can change your life in 2 months. I call my clients. I'll pop them up right here. Super fast. It's totally possible. And if you don't believe it's possible, it's a limiting belief.